Morning everybody, I hope you're ready for this week's PE task because this week we're going to be having a little bit of fun with juggling and balancing. So we are going to be continuing on with our juggling throughout most of this unit because it is one of those skills that is quite tricky, and if you stick with it, you will progress to the point where you can start to juggle. But the other part of today, we are going to be doing some balancing tasks, and for that, we're going to need one of these. Now don't worry, we're not going to be sweeping up the floor. We're going to be using this as a balancing pole. So everybody should have a broom around the house or something with a stick that's about this size. If you don't, a stick would work just as well. So we're going to be using a broomstick for this one, and I'll talk you through that in a moment. But before we do that, I want to make sure you are on the right track with your juggling and you're doing it as easy as you possibly can without rushing through it and without struggling to the point where you want to give up, because this challenge is quite tricky. So if you are already up to the balls, we want to be making sure that before we move on from one, we've really got one ball sorted out quite well. And the easiest way to do this is by holding it in the hand that you're going to throw it with first. And we're going to imagine there's a box right above us. So what we do is we try to throw that ball so it goes up to the top corner of the box and then comes down and drops in that hand. So we keep our eye on this one the whole way. Then we go back to the other side and we continue that. We want to make sure that this is within our control area. We don't want to be out here or up really high. So just up and down. Once we've got that, remember we then start to add in another ball. Now a common mistake that people make is when they go to throw this one, their natural reaction is to pass this one over. And we don't want to be doing this because you can't do the second throw if you pass that over. So how you do it is you say to yourself, up, up, catch, catch. And you don't want to be doing it small and rushing yourself. You want to give yourself a nice little bit of space and a bit of time. So you go up, up, catch, catch. Up, catch, catch. And if you watch my eyes, they go from one ball to the other. So you go up, catch, catch. Up, catch, catch. And stay with that until you are able to do this almost every time. Up, catch, catch. All right? Then we add in our third one. So we've got two balls in the one hand and one ball in the other, but this one doesn't move. Remember, this one doesn't move yet. So we go up, catch, catch, exactly the same way that we did it in the step previous to this one. The only difference is we're getting used to holding on to this ball. So once you can do that, move on to the next step, and that is just releasing this ball. So we go up, catch, catch. But this time we go up, and we catch it on the other side. Plonking back in this one, up, and catching. Now that's the first repetition of juggling. So to progress that and keep that ball moving, we just get rid of the green one before we catch the purple one. So we go up, there we go. All of a sudden, we're continuously juggling. So I'll show you again. Up, and before we release that, before we catch that one, we release it, and that will continue the cycle. So up, and then pop him up, keep popping it up, and before you know it, you are juggling. Now, this is something that takes a bit of time, so stay with it and practice that one. Try not to get frustrated. If you are getting frustrated, have a break. It's better to have a break than just to keep throwing balls all over the place. So stick with it and we'll see how you go. But today's task is all about balancing. So for this one, we're going to be using a broomstick. We're going to be using this broomstick upside down. And we're going to be balancing it on different parts of our body. So we're going to start with it on our hand, an open hand. We're going to pop the bottom of the broomstick on that hand. We're going to look at the top, the very top of this broomstick, and we're going to see if we can keep this broomstick nice and balanced. Now, if you look down here, it's very, very difficult to keep it up nice and straight. You want to be looking up the top, always right at the top. And if you can get that sorted, you can then start to move your body and walk around the room with it. This is quite tricky. If you do find that easy enough, to make it harder, believe it or not, if we take the end off the broom, which gets rid of a bit of weight, this then moves a lot quicker. So it makes this balancing quite tricky, and the pole wants to move. Now watch what's happening with my elbow. Alright, I'm keeping my elbow close to my body and using small movements to keep that stick up nice and still. So even though my arm is moving quite a bit, the top isn't moving much at all. Alright, so give that one a go. Once you've done that, you can then experiment and play around with different ways to balance these. Now a good one that's also tricky is to try doing it on your foot. Now same thing, if you keep your knee still, just like the elbow, you can keep this broomstick relatively straight. As I said, it's quite difficult. Here we go. Alright, so there you go guys. There is this week's challenge. Continue on with the balance, the juggling, and add in a little bit of balancing. Let me know how you go. This one's great for coordination, so it should be a nice, fun, challenging task.